Welcome in, everybody, to Betting Pros. It's time to place your bets. It is me, Joey P, Joe P Zapia, and this is BP NFL. And we are going to wrap up our off-season discussion of division by division. We're doing all the recaps. We're showing you how to bet each division. And we only got one left. Can you believe it? The NFC East, where the champs live. And also Terrell Furman Jr.'s Giants also, I hear, reside there. But we are going to give you our picks for the division, our win totals, and even more. And if you've missed any of this series, go back and watch it on demand on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like this video, and of course, drop your comments below. What are your picks for every single division in the NFL? We've done them all. We've got one more to go, and then it's on to the preseason. So make sure you're watching our preseason videos here as we got week 1 coming at you right now. Andrew Erickson with us, The Undertaker, Terrell Furman Jr., as we've done this whole series together. It's sad that it's coming to an end because I've really enjoyed this, but we've only got one more left to go. And we're going to start out with the champs. A lot of changes for the champs. Not too many. They signed linebacker Azeez Ojulari. Uche also came over there, and they re-signed Patrick Johnson. They also traded a 2025 fifth-round pick to move up so they could take Jahad Campbell with their big draft selection there. So the champs are in a good place, Terrell. They really are, because coming off a big Super Bowl, they're coming off some really good couple years of drafting. They got a young defense. They've got, a running back coming off a huge season. Will that workload maybe show a little wear and tear on him this year? History teaches us 400 carries does not bode well the next year. I mean, time again, it does not bode well for Saquon Barkley. But maybe we can make some money on that. What do you think of the offseason for the defending, reigning, undisputed heavyweight champs of the NFL?
I think it was fine. They did what they were supposed to do. I mean, I don't know what. It's nothing I could have said that would have garnered any type of. It wasn't anything I could have said that would have garnered any type of reaction here. I thought it was fine. I thought that they leaned a little bit more into the youth movement with the defense here, and they're going to be trusting a lot of young pieces in that secondary. Because Quinyon Mitchell was so good last year, is he going to be good next year? Well, I don't know. Sauce Gardner, I mean, he could be good. He could fall off. Same thing with DeJean. Like, you will see. So I think it's a young defense that profiles to be really, really well. But if they have a setback, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think they should be fine. They look like they're still the Philadelphia Eagles that they were last year. It just, health's got to be there.
Yeah, look, they didn't have a lot of holes, Andrew. I mean, that's the thing. They're really, what's so special about the Eagles is they have an opportunity here to really go on a run because of the continuity and what they've already established there and the age of what they've established.
Yeah, I do think that with defense that I'm a little bit more concerned just because they did have a decent amount of roster turnover going to the point what Terrell made where they are going in that youth movement. They lost a lot of their veterans that were on this team last year again. So they had one of the highest turnover rates in terms of roster on the defensive side of the football. And they also were the second healthiest defense last year in terms of injury luck. So if they're having more injuries with more younger players, does that create opportunities for offenses to attack this team? You also have Kellen Moore. He's gone from this offense. You have Jalen Hurts with another new offensive coordinator. Now, this particular one, Kevin Petula, he's been with the team. He's the former passing game coordinator since 2021. So he's been with Hurts for a while. So I'm not expecting that much of a fall off from the offense. But if anything, I'm thinking more of Hurts throwing the ball. To your point about Saquon Barkley, if he regresses, if he misses time, they're probably not running the ball as much, maybe playing a little bit more shootout environments where they're not playing just bully ball between the defense and the run game. I think maybe more of Jalen Hurts in the passing game with Goddard, Devontae Smith, and A.J. Brown.
Next up, the Washington Commanders offseason. Well, they traded for wide receiver Deebo Samuel from the 49ers. Offensive tackle Army Tunsil came over. And free agent signing of defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw. So a little 49er action there going over to Washington. They also had some depth at wide receiver. Michael Gallup's there. Defense, Trey Amos and Jonathan Jones came over here. So, look, I think they obliterated any expectations anyone could have had of them last year. Now it's going to be different, right? We talked about this last year with the Texans, right? You come out of nowhere, you go to the playoffs, you make noise. The next year, everybody's ready for you, and sometimes there's some struggles there. So do you think the Commanders did enough this offseason, Andrew, to avoid some of those pitfalls that, say, the Texans found themselves in last season?
I think that they tried to do those things with what they had at their disposal and what assets they had, but this is the oldest roster in the NFL. That is not something you think about when you're talking about this second-year emerging quarterback surrounding him with guys like Zach Ertz and Austin Eckler, right? Like these guys are going to play significant roles on this team. So unless we're getting major contributions from some of these day 3 picks, Jalen Lane, 7th rounder, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, I'm having a hard time buying into the Commanders when they go from being on the hunt to being hunted, essentially. When you look at their schedule, it's significantly harder than it was last year. Are they going to be as successful in these close games? They went 9-3 in close games last year. They converted 4th downs at the highest rate in modern NFL history. Are they going to be able to sun run again at that type of level? I'm a bit skeptical.
Terrell Furman Jr., what's your take on the offseason for the Commanders?
I've realized that I'm never actually wrong. I'm just early with a lot of things. So I've never actually been wrong. I've just been early on things happening. And so last year when I said the Commanders weren't going to be that good because the defense was going to plague them over the course of the year, I was actually just early into that happening this year. And so this is the year that they are going to see those defensive woes on that side of the ball. I don't think that the moves that they made really addressed the fact of this is a defense that couldn't stop the run, and teams could absolutely just knew that for a fact they could run the ball on the Commanders. And if you can get the running game going, it opens up a world of possibilities for you. It also keeps the ball out of the hands of Jayden Daniels, who we now realize, oh man, this guy is that good. We need to make sure that we don't keep giving him the ball. So I can see a lot more running against the Commanders this year that I still don't think they're equipped to stop. And that's going to be tough for them, especially if the offensive line isn't all the way there. And Daniels is going to have to be forced to make some plays. And they might be getting off the field a little bit more than expected. So I think it is a slight little setback here for the Commanders. But ultimately, the big thing about this division is that nobody wins twice in a row. And so they have a chance.
Maybe the Cowboys have a chance. They signed Javonte Williams, Robert Jones, Solomon Thomas, Dante Fowler. They traded for Kyer Elam, Kenneth Murray, and George Pickens now part of that. So the backfield's a little suspect for me, Terrell. I don't know about you, but I do like the Pickens addition. And to me, it's all about the health of Dak Prescott. When he's healthy, he's a very productive quarterback. And when he's not, well, the Cowboys are going to have some bad games and some bad times. So what's your takeaway now that we are here looking on the other side of the offseason for the Dallas Cowboys?
That the Cowboys are going to go as far as Dak Prescott can take them because the defense isn't going to help them out at all. Mm-hmm. I think that the Commanders' profile is a bad defense. I know the Cowboys are a bad defense, and I know that Dak Prescott is going to be playing from behind, trying to throw and keep them in games and give them a shot, and it's not going to work more often than not. But I think that's ultimately the identity of this team is how good can we get this offense performing, and can we get a middle-of-the-pack defense going? Well, it doesn't look good with the fact that Michael Parsons, as of right now, wants to trade out of Dallas, and so that's not helping their defense get any better. I think the defense is going to set them so far back this season that the Cowboys might fall off a cliff.
Andrew Erickson, do you see that same potential cliff and pitfalls here for Dallas in 2025?
I think that it's there. I think that this team is kind of fragile with Dak's health because that's what we're all kind of relying on and banking on. Well, if Dak's healthy, well, have we seen this offensive line too? There's some major issues with left tackle. Tyler Guyton was a rookie last year. Wasn't great. And he's already hurt. So he's supposed to come back for the start of the season, but Dak Prescott has been banged up. He's not as mobile as he once was. So he really needs to have a clean pocket. And even before last year, he was not good at the beginning of last year before he was injured. So I know we look at 2023 and we think, well, if Dak could just get back to that, he's throwing 30-plus touchdowns. We feel great about this offense, throwing the ball over the yard. They got George Pickens. They also added Joe Milton. You did not say that, Joe. They did trade for Joe Milton as well. Significant piece because he might have to play at some point if Dak can't stay healthy behind this offensive line. So I echo the points Terrell made about this defense. The secondary, I think, is very suspect. And if they're missing Parsons at any point, if he's not 100%, even if he does sign a big contract, if he's missed all of training camp, well, we saw what this did with some of these players. It took them weeks to get up to speed. And week 1, they're playing on Thursday night against Philadelphia Eagles. And I bet them +7 months ago, and I don't necessarily feel that great about it
anymore. Fair enough. The New York Football Giants, they had a very busy offseason. They maintained their GM and coach, which surprised a lot of people. Not
some more than others.
Some more than others, but not me. I mean, the Mara family likes to give people a chance to kind of create their own. So let's see what they could do. They took Abdul Carter with their first pick. Then they selected Jackson Dart, quarterback of the future, ? Cam Scatteraboo, a really fun college career. They also brought in some veteran QBs too, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston. So a lot of new here, Andrew Erickson, especially under center for the Giants. So how does that look to you coming into this season?
Before I say how I feel, I got to hear from Terrell first. This is
Terrell's
baby.
I wanted to build up the tension there.
But I want to make sure that I'm looking at the Giants the right way, because if anyone's going to be giving me the realest deal on the Giants, it's going to be Terrell, and I want to make sure that what I was thinking about them is accurate. So Terrell, take it away.
All right, DeRealist, you got it here. DeRealist Furman, you're up.
Well, one. I can't, it's nothing I can say that doesn't get a laugh. All I said was, well.
Pause into it. You just got it. Well.
Terrell. All right, can I get to it? Okay, there we go.
Got it. Right. Can you?
So, it's very, very hard for me to think that the Giants are going to be any type of serious with I almost said Joe Judge, but Joe Shane. I mean, the Council of Joes are just not doing well over here for us.
We kicked Joe Judge out, just so you know.
Oh, dude, he's off in obscurity. Shane is about to go right out the door with him. It's okay. And Brian Dable. And so, I mean, if Dable and Shane are as good as they think they are, then the Giants should be a playoff team. That's what they say. They make it seem like they carry things on. Me, on the other hand, I see it as very much as real as it is. And the realness is that even though the defense has the profile that they could be a really solid defense, if all of those pieces up front play to their fullest potential, the defense can be something special, especially if Bowen is able to get a system going and get the most out of all these players. But at the end of the day, you have to put points on the board. He said he just needed a quarterback. Fine, they got a quarterback. They didn't do anything about the offensive line at all. They just got the quarterback and said, I'm a quarterback away. Nothing was done about the offensive line. So there's already a lot of skepticism in how good this offense can be for me, because the offensive line is still the same offensive line that they've been trying to piece together for 3 to 4 years and through 2 different administrations. So with that being said, Malik Neighbors is a talent. He's great. He makes the offense and everything go easier, and they will probably win a bunch of games because of Malik Neighbors. The defense, very, very good. They will probably win a bunch of games because of the defense. The reason that they will lose games is because Brian Dable is not a competent head coach.
Fair enough. I would make this assessment. I like the defense. I think they're going to be very strong. They're going to win some games on defense this year. Mark my words, they will. I think the offense is going to be inconsistent, and that's going to show up in the win totals that we're going to do in just a second. Andrew, that's my take on the Giants. Offense, inconsistent. Defense, pretty solid, but as Terrell said, you got to put points on the board.
Yeah, I agree with you guys with the defense. I thought that when you just look at it, if they can be healthier than they were last year, you have a lot of pieces to be excited. And if they can just prevent themselves from getting blown out in games, keeping things a little bit tighter where their defense can actually stand a shot. And if they get upgraded quarterback play, Terrell pointed out that they didn't really do that much on the offensive line. Yes, that's obviously disappointing, but they took 3 shots at quarterback to upgrade from last year. They got Russell Wilson, they got Jameis Winston, they got Jackson Dart. And it's in a multitude of ways where they can try to figure out a way to, okay, we can squeeze 1 to 2 wins out of Russ. We can get 1 to 2 wins out of Jameis Winston. At the back end, we get 1 to 2 wins out of Jackson Dart. You look up, they got 6 wins, and you feel great about it. And going over this division too, I thought that I found a lot of holes in some of those other teams in their division. I think the thing that we always talk about with the Giants, and if you hear any type of betting analysis on them, is the schedule. Oh, they have the toughest schedule in the NFL, and it's brutal. But I think when you look at the teams specifically in the NFC East, I think that those teams are being a little overvalued in terms of how good and how hard they are to beat, especially if you're the New York Giants, when these are division games. Like, these are hard games to win week in and week out, especially
in football.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm prepared mentally to look at the Giants when they're playing in this NFC East and think, man, yeah, on paper, it doesn't look great, but I think that they can maybe show up a little bit more and play a little bit closer than most people would give them credit for, and as we'll talk about it when we get to the win totals.
Before we get to the win totals today, I want to shout out our sponsor of today's show. It's NoVig. If you're looking for a smarter way to play, look no further. It's NoVig, the new sports trading platform that's changing the game. It's legal in most states, including Georgia, California, and Texas. It's peer-to-peer, and that means you're competing against other users, not the house. And you can often get better lines than traditional books. You can set your own lines, what gives you control. Most sports books just don't offer. There's no commissions. There's no hidden fees. Seriously, none of that stuff. It uses a coin deposit system, but it's real money, and you can use the promo code DailyJuice for 50% off your first coin purchase up to $25. Check it out now. BettingPros.com/juice. That's BettingPros.com/juice. No VIG. That's where the game is getting changed. Go start playing today. Let's take a look at the win totals here. A lot of ranges of outcomes on some of these teams, so it's going to be a big board here. The Dallas Cowboys, 6.5, 7.5. I don't know where we want to live here necessarily. I'll tell you what, Andrew Erickson, I'll let you start here with the Dallas Cowboys. You have a win total in mind when you're looking at Big D?
I'm going to go with the over on the 8.5 wins. I like the payout at plus 135. Look, when Dak Prescott is healthy, they usually win around 10 games per season. That's where it's been like the last 3 seasons. And the way that the schedule is set up for Dallas, aside from week 1 when they play the Philadelphia Eagles, where they may or may not get curb stomped, the ease of their schedule is at the start of the year. So I think this team will win a lot of games before the second half. And then you can always kind of make some bets off of this win total depending on where they're at. So I'll take the over. I like the payout plus 135 over 8.5.
Man, I think that's an easy one for me too. But of course, now Terrell's got me concerned about Micah Parsons and all the other things going on there. But when Dak is healthy, I think they will at least be annoyingly competitive. So the plus money there at 135, Terrell, that's hard for me to turn down. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, sure, I guess for you guys, but I'll take the plus money at under 7.5 wins. Y'all talking about plus money on over? It's a plus money on a under too, under 7.5 plus money there. I don't think that they're going to be a good team. I think that the defense is going to be the bane of their existence, and as good as they can play early on in games, if you can't play defense late and get stops when you need them, then you're going to lose football games. I don't think that they have any continuity here on offense other than Dak Prescott, and if Dak Prescott, who is injury prone at this point, gets hurt again, this team is bottoming out to probably one of the worst teams in the entire league. I just don't want to play around with that. It's so many range of outcomes that arise where this team could be horrible and not as many for what has to happen for them to be good. Like, there has to be a lot of things to go right for the Cowboys to have a good season here. So Schottenheimer's first season, I don't think it gets all put together just like that. I think it's a little bit of a rebuild here. I like the under 7.5 wins.
New York Football Giants. Again, talking about range of outcomes. Ooh, we got a lot of them here. Terrell, I'll let you start here. We'll give you the floor again for the Giants here. Where are you going for the win total?
I mean, Erickson put it in a really good stage. You get 2 wins for Rush, you get 2 wins for Winston, you get 2 wins for Dart. That's 6 wins, and guess what? That gives you an over. Unfortunately, I would love to sit up here and tell you all that I think that they're going to go under the win total because I don't believe in Brian Dable. I don't believe in Joe Shane. And unfortunately, this is a team put together of those 2 minds, and they have completely found a way to tank this team in 3 years from when they started, which was a playoff run. So at this point, 5.5 wins is just too short. Like, this is still a defense that's going to be profiled to be one of the better defenses in the entire NFL because of what they have up front. As long as they stay healthy, you have Dexter Lawrence, who was literally wreaking havoc, and he was leading the league in sacks as a defensive tackle until he got hurt last year. Like, you bring in Abdul Carter, you still have Kayvon Thibodeau that for whatever everybody wants to make out of him, he's still a NFL level talent. And then Brian Burns on the other side, like, they have so many pieces, and it's depth. They have the depth pieces along this defensive line. And you saw it with the Eagles. If you have some hitters around the defensive line and around the line of scrimmage, then your defense is going to look really, really good. So I think that the defense is going to save them in some games. I like over 5.5 wins here. I think that they're going to get 6. And I'm going to be in the worst spot as a fan where they get 6 wins and we don't get a good draft pick, and I'm just sitting there like, wow, what did we do for this season?
Yep, that sounds about right to me. I'm actually in lockstep with Terrell on this one, Andrew. I was with you on the last one. I'm with Terrell on this one. I think that over 5.5 is perfect there. They're going to eke out a couple victories. You're getting plus money. That's keeping it simple.
Yeah, I agree with you guys taking the over. And you get if they fire Dayball, you get that post-week coach firing bump. They're going to win that game or cover that game. So there's just so many ways where they're going to end up winning because they're not favored, I don't think, in any game except maybe the Saints game. That's the one it's so funny.
That's
Saints
the one they're going to lose, by the way. That's
Saints
the one they're
fans
going to
and
lose.
Giants fans both have that game circled as, all right, this is the game that we're going to win for the first time. So I'm surprised it's already not been put onto primetime as the dumpster bowl. But yeah, I'm going to go over on 5.5
Hot take.
As well.
Hot take, the Giants probably get a win the first game of the season.
Against Commanders?
I don't think that's crazy.
Offensive line. offensive line is not going to be able to compete with that Giants defense, and the Giants just kind of have the number of the Commanders. It took for a no kicker
there. I'm exactly where Terrell is. I was on the cover. I wasn't ready for the Giants to win outright, but I understand.
And I'm not going to the game. I'm not going to the game, so of course they're going to win when I decide not to go.
Is it in New York?
No, it's in DC.
DC rather. Excuse me. Yeah. All right, let's get to the Eagles. Speaking of getting to Philly, let's get to the Eagles win totals. 10.5, 11.5, 12.5, 13.5. All of those are on the board. Andrew Erickson, which one is intriguing to you?
I don't really like a lot of these. Again, the number's really high because Eagles are just a really good team. So I have them projected for 11 wins. It's minus 160. That's what I would bet, but it's probably a shy away for me overall.
Terrell, how about you? You shying away from these Eagle win totals?
Yeah, give me an under 11.5. I think they'll be solid. I think 11 wins, and I like Erickson. Might play it exactly. 11 wins seems like right about where they're at, but I just have to play the numbers. And for the past 20 years, we have not had a repeat champion in this division. Like that's not just a regular trend, guys. 20 years, 2 decades.
So who steps up then? Because you don't like the Commanders' offensive line. Andrew says
I don't like anybody.
The Cowboys are the Cowboys, and the Giants you're picking for 5 wins. So I hate to break it to you, but I feel like history is not going to repeat itself this year.
We'll see.
And the Eagles do repeat this year. I think that the rest of this division is still theirs for the taking. I don't see any value here. Terrell, I'm sorry. Did you land on a value here with any of these or no?
Minus 130, 11.5, but that's about it.
So I got no value on it. These guys are trying to eke out some. I'm just going to take my money somewhere else. Let's take it to Washington, see what we can do here. Terrell, kick us off here. Washington Commanders win total. What's your sweet spot for this one?
All right, Commanders win total is sitting there at what's a good number?
Well, you got 9.5. You got minus 110 and plus 110. That's Vegas telling you the Commanders were good last year, but we're not necessarily sold on them repeating the success of 2024. To me, that's what they're telling you, which means very clearly to me, maybe we should even be looking further. Like maybe the under 8.5 and something really a plus 155 might be the way to go.
You're torn between the sophomore slump, and then you also have the fact of, I'm telling you, think of the past 20 years and the amount of times that a team in the NFC East was just a foregone conclusion to be able to win the division the next year, and they didn't. So, it's just really, really hard for me to go against the Commanders, who I think are legitimately the second best team in the division. And so I'm still going to take the Commanders over 9.5, even though I have a lot of question marks.
That's fair. Look, it's fair. I think that's perfectly fine. The 9.5 is the breaking point. Vegas is telling you what they are. They're somewhere in there. They're an above 500 team, probably. But again, finding the value on that is tricky. Coach is good. Quarterback is good. Andrew, what win total is good?
I'm burying the Commanders. I'm going under 7.5. I think that all the issues that we've talked about are going to show up this season in the win-loss column. Again, they were so good in close games last year, 9-3 in one-score games. They should have lost to the Bears. I mean, if they don't win that game and go on this insane run after that Hail Mary, how does the season play out for them? And going back to the point, week 1, they lose to the Giants. How does that affect the season going forward? I just think that it's so dependent. They're putting everything on Jayden Daniels. He has to do everything. Again, the offensive line is shaky. The defense is not that great. They don't have a lot of amazing... Is Deebo Samuel the best playmaker they have around Jayden Daniels? And then Terry McLaurin's not even there. So I have
he'll be there soon.
So I think there's a lot of concerns. And they just seem like a team that's screaming to regress. And even if Daniels... I mean, it's not really a concern for Daniels from a fantasy perspective because he just adds so much with his legs. So he's going to get there no matter what. But I think this team's going to take a step back and win losses, so I'm going to take advantage under 7.5 plus 250.
All right, let's take a look at who wins this division. History aside, it's the Eagles, I think. I really do. I mean, we've had this conversation. We've gone through all these, jumping through hoops here with all these teams. Look, Eagles at minus 140. I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk for them. I think they're going to struggle, especially if Saquon misses time when he is not on the field. I do think it's going to be a bit of an adjustment there. And I do think that there's a scenario you can write where all these teams are very competitive enough where they give the Eagles a hard time and maybe a couple, losses they don't see coming. We'll see. But I still think the Eagles eke out this division. Minus 140. I don't love that necessarily, so I'm just going to probably pass on this one. Andrew, where are you going here? Are you betting this? Or are you staying away? How do you feel about the division winner?
I'm going to take the plus 550 on Dallas. So Eagles will not repeat. Commanders will take a step back, and Dallas will get back to, hey, Dak is healthy. I think that they have a better than 5-1 shot of winning this division. So I'll take the Cowboys.
Terrell?
Yeah, man. History. I live in this division. I know. And it's so many years that a team has just looked like an absolute lock to win the division, and they have not. Go on the Commanders. I'm going to trust Daniels, and I'm going to say that maybe they have a slow start to the year, and a lot of things that I'm saying ring very true, but they figure it out in the win, and they win one out in the last couple of games of the season. So I will take the Commanders at the plus 220 value.
All right, it's time to look at some of our favorite bets regarding this division, and I'm going to start here with the AP NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year, Abdul Carter, 2-1. Yes, please. He's that good. And it's a media award. He's playing in New York. Oh, my God. All the buzz. What jersey number is he going to wear? Oh, my goodness. Please. I'm inundated with clips and reels of him beating offensive linemen already. Even if he has an okay season, I think he's going to just lock for this award. Saquon Barkley, on the other hand, I'm concerned. And it's a big number, which makes me really comfortable betting it. Under 1,400.5 rushing yards. If he misses 6 games, which is not un-Saquon-like, coming off 400 carries. Again, that is, combined over that time. You saw Christian McCaffrey's 400 touches, what he wasn't able to do the year after. But look at the 400 carry mark and how bad that has gone the next year for guys. This is a severe under for me. And it's the good year, then it's the bad year, then the good year, then the bad year. And guess what? We're in the good year for Dak Prescott. So let's go over 3,875.5 minus 114, the passing yard total for Dak. I think he crushes this. I think he gets to 4,500 with Pickens and with CeeDee Lamb and without much of a run game to talk about. So give me the over there. Let's go to Terrell. Give me your favorite bets here for this division.
Giants over 5.5 wins. They're going to annoy me and be a 6-win team, and we're not going to be competitive for anything, but we're not going to be first pick Arch Manning or anybody around that range good. So, middle of the road yet again for the Giants, over 5.5 wins. I'm sorry. Daniels over 675.5 rushing yards. He had almost 900, 898 last year, and that was with broken ribs. He's healthy now. I think that the offensive line, while they did get Tunsil, still has question marks, and because teams have figured him out a little bit, he's not going to see the options downfield. He's going to end up making a lot more plays with his legs while being a lot more healthier. So I like Daniels to go over his rushing prop, and then I decided to take that a little bit further, Joe, because I like your thought with the Saquon injury. I do. As somebody who has dealt with Saquon Barkley for years, I understand the injuries come. So here's a chance where we can profit on them because Saquon is currently minus 900 to lead the NFC East in rushing yards. Brian Robinson could easily have a better year on the ground and be close to 1,000-yard, if not 1,000-yard rusher this season. Or Daniels could just be great on the ground again. His 898 yards were second in the division last year behind who? Saquon Barkley. So Robinson, 14-1 to be the NFC East rushing leader. Daniels, 20-1 to be the NFC East rushing leader. I think I got it between those two.
Yeah, I like the Daniels one especially. That's a fun one. All right, Andrew Erickson, wrap it up here. The end of the previews. The NFC East comes to a close. Let's bet it.
All right, so Washington Commanders under 7.5 wins at plus 125 is, I believe, what the number was at. So I'm going to take that. That's my best bet for the win totals. And then for the wild card player props, so I'm going to follow up the guy that you talked about, Abdul Carter, except I'm going to look at his sack numbers because we usually see a correlation between defensive rookie of the year is usually a guy that gets a lot of sacks, but there are times and instances where a guy can actually get double-digit sacks as a rookie and still not win the award. I have concerns about Travis Hunter, his impact and how he influences the voting because voters are just going to find excuses to vote for him in some way or some form because, well, he's playing offense and he does all these interceptions. He was a second overall pick. So I feel like that works against Abdul Carter. Whereas I can get plus 350 for him to get double-digit sacks. So that's the bet that I want to make. It's better odds, and I think that it's the fact that he's so highly ranked in terms of the odds for Defensive Player of the Year or Rookie of the Year, I mean, the expectation is he should be pretty close to double-digit sacks. So at 3.5 to 1, I'm going to take him to get 10+ sacks. That's over at DraftKings Sportsbook.
There you have it, everybody. That wraps up the NFC East and all of our division previews here at BettingPros. Again, go back and watch all of them. I'm pretty sure we'll put in a playlist or something like that. But if not, just go back. You can watch all of them. You can place all your bets. Make sure you do it using the BettingPros app. Check out Novig as well for a fun betting experience that's new. Join our Discord too, bettingpros.com/chat. It's free, it's fun, and we're just getting started. I'm excited for football season. Let's go, baby. For Andrew, Erickson, Terrell Furman Jr., I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Subscribe to Betting Pros.